On the entertaining speaker Mandel, and he's supposed to give a dramatic talk in 10 to 12 minutes. Now, Fidel comes from the Philippines. He has a Filipino background, and they are both noted and maybe notorious for their feasts. And so today he's going to give us some opportunity to be prepared if we get invited to a Filipino fiesta, because his speech is surviving the Philippine fiesta. Help me welcome Fidel Devera with Surviving the Philippine Fiesta.
I can see half here. Surviving the Philippine Fiesta. If you plan to go to the Philippines, make your visit to the Philippines memorable by attending the Philippine Fiesta. Fiesta is a century-old tradition in the Philippines to celebrate the feast day of a patron saint. Filipinos take fiestas very seriously, and this is an understatement if you witness the time and effort that Filipinos invest in preparing for this event. Every town or city or barrio has its own fiesta every year. Let's do the math. There are 1,600 more or less towns and municipalities and cities. Each city or municipality has 25 barrios. That means that every year there are at least 40,000 fiestas celebrated. Mr. Toastmasters, fellow Toastmasters, honored guests, if they're honored guests, good morning. Understanding the Philippine Fiesta will help you survive if you become part of it. The first characteristic of a fiesta is the food. Every household prepares sufficient food to feed an army of hungry soldiers. The menu is complete from the appetizer to the various desserts. And of course, the main dish is the lechon, translation called the roasted pig. If turkeys are willing martyrs in the United States, pigs are willing martyrs also in Philippine fiestas. Your host may bring you to different houses, tour you around. And these are houses of relative, and remember, each house prepares its own food. One tip when you go in the store is to eat little food in each house top. Why? Because by the time you go to the 20th house top, there's no more room in here. You have to eat every house top because the housemaster considers it an offense if you don't eat. Of course, when you go around, you might also stop in a house that's not really a relative. In fact, in the Philippine Fiesta, you can go to any house. Even if you're a stranger, you will not be charged with trespassing. That's where Philippine hospitality is. You will be accepted whoever you are during the Philippine Fiesta. After the sumptuous food comes the drink. And I'm not talking about coffee or wine. I'm talking about liquor called lambanog. This is the Philippine liquor that would make your head turn after one shot. So for those beer-loving drinkers, please don't take 2 shots of this. Otherwise, you will be performing a major concert on top of a table in front of guests belting out a song in one note like, I can sing that with one note. Happy birthday to you. Happy condolence to you. See what I mean? And every corner, there's a table with men drinking, sometimes with women. Women can outdrink the men. The thing is, when you go around and you're offered a shot, it's an insult to refuse it. But if you are already, dizzy with your lambanog, you can feign, actually you can get away by feigning, sudden onset of nausea or fever. And, I can't do it. I can't. So you can actually get away with it. After drinking coffee, because you have to get off the effects of that lambanog, next stop will be the plaza. This is where the performance is being made. The famous performance in the Philippines is what you call the ati-atihan. It is a war dance of the Atas, who are the original native tribes in the Philippines. They wear their headdress, and if you're a spectator there, they might ask you to wear that headdress for pictorial souvenir. Well, you might as well dance your way to the grooving tune of the drum beat, something like halabira, halabira, woo! That's the way how they dance it. And of course, as I've said, Ati-Atihan is one of the famous performances. Every city has its own performance. We have the Sinolog in Cebu City. We have the Mascara in Bacolod City. We have the, in my hometown itself, we have what we call the Gigantes. Gigantes means giants. So you have giant images parading around the town. In fact, there is what we call the Carabao or Buffalo Festival, where buffaloes are painted with different colors. And I hope that they don't call that animal cruelty. The main highlight of the fiesta is the religious procession. This is right after the Mass. And this is when the images of Jesus Christ, Virgin Mary, and other saints put atop a carriage bedecked with flowers and lights. So this goes around the town. As you know, Filipinos are very religious. 90% of them are Catholics. And this excludes the two-day Catholics. Two-day Catholics? Yes, because they go to church only twice in their lifetime. The first time is their baptismal rites, and the last time is their last rites. That's why they are called two-day Catholics. But going back to the procession, if you happen to be attending that fiesta in the month of May, you may be lucky to witness also what we call the Santa Cruzan. Right after the images comes the Santa Cruzan procession. And this is in commemoration of Queen Elena's pursuit to find the Holy Cross with his son. That's why it's called Santa Cruzan, because cruz is a cross. And we have different beauties in the Santa Cruzan. We have Queen Reina, which is queen in Spanish, Reina de las Estrellas, queen of the stars, Reina de los Angeles, queen of the angels, Reina del Profetas, queen of the prophets. But of course, we have Reina Elena, who is supposed to be the most beautiful of the train. And its queen is marching under an arc of flowers, and beside the queen are men with candles lighting her way. The final part of a fiesta is the fiesta ball. This is the dance. and you have to pay your way through there. Now, this is when Filipinos and Filipinas wear their formal dress, formal shirts. We have the Filipino kimono, which unfortunately I cannot show it to you. And we have the Barong Tagalog. Barong Tagalog, I should have worn it. It is made of a pineapple fiber, creatively designed by Filipinos. It's a formal wear introduced by our first president. Before that, the formal wear, of course, the coat and tie. But in this case, we introduced that local formal wear. In this dance also, we have also dance competition. Spanish is so influential in the Philippines, so most of the dances are Latin dances. We have the cha-cha-cha, we have the rumba, tumba, bomba, samba, we have merengue, we have the different dances. Of course, the night is capped by the reigning of the Lakan and the Lakambini. Lakan is the gentleman of the night. It's a term reserved for royalty and for nobility. They normally have the blood type RB, like mine. RB as in royal blood. The Lakambini is supposed to exemplify the virtues of the Filipina, which is modest, demure, God-fearing, family-loving, etc., etc. Now, that is the Fiesta Day 1. Of course, Day 2, there's still Fiesta. And this is designed actually for by parents who wanted to rest. So this Day 2 is for games, for kids, because they don't want to disturb their parents. Now, once you have gone to a Filipino fiesta, all celebrations pale in comparison. You will be awed by its extravagance. You'll be awed by the beauty and the simplicity of the Filipino people. And you will be convinced that right in your heart, Filipinos are hospitable, sincere, beautiful, creative, God-fearing, etc., etc. And once you've experienced that fiesta, Philippine fiesta, hopefully when you meet the next Filipino, you will be able to complement that hospitality for that Filipino that you meet. Good morning, fellow Toastmasters.